We're on.
Hello, this is the Skyrim Addict podcast, I suppose, with myself and my good friend Victor. Say hello.
Hello, or should I say hello? Or what's the old joke? Say hello, Victor. Hello, Victor. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
This is episode 87, maybe, of the Skyrim Addict podcast. Possibly.
I don't
Who
know.
knows? Only Michael knows, and the person listening to the podcast. So they can correct me all they like. So I suppose we should jump straight into some news. It's kind of a long story of what I wanted to get into about what's happened with my Skyrim playthrough. It's kind of strange.
Uh-oh.
I was playing along and enjoying myself, and I think I had it must have been about 30 open quests because I was just plodding along all over Skyrim, going from here, there, everywhere. And I had just brought Esbern back to Delphine, and those two were going to trot off to meet me at Karthspire. And I said, well, I'll meet you there. I won't travel with you. I've got a few things I need to take care of. And then I was running back to Riften to do something. I think it was I found I got a letter from a friend saying that there's a word of power in Agravund, something like that.
Oh, right, because when you shout in a town, you get a letter saying, "I heard you shout" or something like that. Is that how it works? I can't remember anymore.
Yeah, it was. You show the power of your Thuum. If you go to this place, it'll unlock.
Right. Okay.
Only the power that only the Dragonborn can unlock, or something like that. So
right.
I was strolling into Agravund. That's where the Dark Elf lady, the treasure hunter, she had a bunch of workers with her, and they cracked through into the crypt. Was it a Nordic crypt? And she said they took one look at all the corpses and ran. and your line was what? They can't stand dead bodies. She goes, well, not like these. These ones were still walking around.
I don't remember. I haven't done that in quite a while, I guess.
It's quite an enjoyable one because she's soon this treasure will all be mine. I mean, ours.
That's okay. I know the one you're talking about. Yep. Okay.
Yep. And she gives you some keys, and you've got a room to the left, and you've got to go all the way through, come back out, pull a lever, and that opens up one gate, and then you go into the other side, and you go all the way through the ruin, come back out, pull a lever, and that opens another gate, and then she can run in, and you can get to the treasure.
Right, okay.
So anyway, I'm out Riften Way, and I think I was also going to go down and talk to. I was going to run through the giant and kill the giant with the guy from the orc camp.
Right. Yeah. I just started that in one of my playthroughs. But yeah. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah. Chief Yamars.
Right.
And then I just completely lost interest.
Oh no.
Yeah. I was just like, well, Perma is all completely different, but it's for some reason I just got bored of it. So I had like 2 days off. So I was searching for something to do, and I remember you telling me, I think it was one of your kids really likes the BioShock games, and I had bought them all recently.
Yeah, I saw you play, just briefly, I saw you playing Infinite there, yeah.
So I put Infinite on, because I had started BioShock, the original one, and I got about 3/4 of the way through that, I think, and then stopped playing it. But I put BioShock Infinite on, and then done the entire game over the course of the 2 days.
Oh, jeez.
And really enjoyed it. I super enjoyed it.
Good.
It wasn't the greatest story ever told. It was pretty obvious what was happening.
Yeah.
You played it, have you?
Only a little bit. I sort of, it's really creepy. and it
Well, I find it like very Disney-like.
a little bit, yeah, but there's a really I got a real uncanny valley vibe when you finally get up into the Cloud City there in the beginning of the game, and it's just like it's just really creepy. I don't know, they just like so no, I didn't get very far in it.
Um, I played. I had a lot of fun. And got through and got to the end of the story, and as I said, they kind of telegraphed it a bit, but I don't think that's the right expression,
Yeah,
or
I
it
think
was
that's about right. I think
telegraphed.
I remember Sean saying that he likes the games, but yeah, the stories aren't exactly Pulitzer Prize winning. Um, yeah, so
So I played that, and I thought, well, let's do the other. So at that point, I was remember I like I listened to Victor, and that was a good game. I enjoyed that. So let's find something else that'll sort of like get me interested. So then I decided to ignore everything you said, and I bought Dark Souls 2.
oh, ooh.
And yeah, no, I don't want to say too much because there's probably some big fans of Dark Souls 2 out there, but they had no consideration whatsoever for the PC players at
Exactly.
all.
Exactly. That's what I
None.
said about it. It's a complete crap in terms of a PC port.
Oh,
I
it
think I called it the
was
worst PC port ever, but that's in my experience anyway. I don't.
in mine too. They
Yeah.
that was the the epitome of round hole square peg. They just jam that in there and just go, here, give us money for this.
Yeah. Yeah.
They didn't care about the PC player at all.
Yeah.
And then, not to mention the game itself, it's an endless grind. And I
Hmm.
was like, wait, what you're expected to go here, kill a lot of things, but then die and then go all the way back and then repeat exactly what I done again and again and again and just on an endless repeat of killing things. I mean, maybe I'm doing it wrong. Maybe I'm just so bad.
I don't think so. I mean, the Souls games are notoriously hard and in a certain way, and one of the things that they are that they're all about is memorizing sequences, uh, and uh, and yeah, that's the game style. I mean, some people love that. You go in, you just got to memorize exactly what movements that boss or monster or whatever is going to make, and you got to know exactly where to go and which way to roll and which way to dodge and so on. And I think a lot of people like that. It's never really grabbed me. I will say this from what I've heard. I've never played it, but from what I've heard people say in terms of the three. Well, there's soon to be a fourth one, but Dark Souls, Demon Souls, Dark Souls 2, and now there's 3 coming out. Most people say the first one was the best one, Dark Souls.
Right. I
Uh,
think I have it on Xbox. I think I got it free once.
yeah, yeah, it's
On
been around
Xbox.
for a long time. It might be '08 maybe when it came out. It's fairly long in the tooth at this point. I think well, actually, Demon Souls may have been the first one. I don't remember. Anyway, it's not my kind of game either, and so I've tried it, and I had high hopes when I bought it for the PC. I'm still considering buying there's a sort of a remaster version of it, the Dark Souls 2 that came out. It's called Reaper of Souls, I think, or something, for the PS4. And maybe if that's on sale sometime, I'll grab it and try it with a real controller, which is really the way it's supposed to be played, I guess.
Mm.
And maybe I'll like it better. I don't know. It's the same thing with like Witcher 3. I was saying in one of the game talk, I think I've found it easier to play Witcher 3 on my console than I did on the PC. Part that might be my age, might be just there's so much to remember on the PC, and it's a little easier to because you have fewer buttons on the controller than keys on a keyboard.
Yeah.
So but yeah. So have you been? You were playing Skyrim today. So what happened after Dark Souls? Did you go back to Skyrim?
Yeah. Did Dark Souls? I mean, it's probably been a while since you played it. Did it?
Yeah, a long time.
Because it reminded me of something that I was doing that was really difficult. But but might be like along similar lines, but might be a little bit more fun. So I went back to my Requiem game.
Ah, okay. Yep.
Uh, and I found a lot of similarities between Requiem and Dark Souls, apart from Requiem was fun. It
Yeah.
was fun now. Not when I first played it. I was kind of taken aback. But I've been thoroughly enjoying playing Requiem for the past few days now.
Cool.
I'm up to, I think it's level 7 now. I'm almost level 8.
It's a much slower progression, isn't it?
It's it's down real slow.
Yeah.
And it's what was taking me aback completely was that it's a complete world change. Everything in the entire world has been changed.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, he's like moved everything about. Like where enemies spawn, what enemies are where. He's put brand new named enemies in different bandit camps. He's changed the bandit camps and increased the enemy number and how they operate, how they defend, the bars where they stand. Everything's been completely altered.
Yeah, and a lot of the AI too. I mean, they're much more aggressive. They follow you farther. They all kinds of stuff like that. And yeah, it's funny that little progression you made because a lot of people say that about Requiem. It's Dark Souls meets Skyrim, and it kind of is. It's funny though because I we'll get back to Requiem in a second, but I followed sort of a completely opposite trajectory. I was playing Requiem the last time we talked, and I've moved on to a perma game now. So but anyway, yeah. So we'll get to that in a minute. But anyway, so anyway, I have some observations about further play in Requiem too since the last time we talked because I did play. My Requiem character is up to level 12 now. So what kind of character did you create for Requiem?
It was still the same character
Oh,
because
cool.
I made the build and then made the character and then put in all the Requiem mods and then didn't like that, so then used the same character, used the same sort of build, and then created the perma character,
Uh-huh.
The profile.
Oh,
So
okay.
he's kind of the same character, a Breton, but he doesn't use two-handed because it's just too slow, and I wouldn't be able to get anywhere near of a good attack in before I'm already dead.
Yeah. Yeah.
I am still using heavy armor and a lot of conjuration.
Okay.
And I've put.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I was going to ask about because I too am wearing heavy armor on my Requiem character, despite all the screw jobs he has in there for people wearing heavy armor. I mean, I think he tries really hard to be balanced. In other words, heavy armor gives you a heck of a lot more protection, but he takes a lot away in terms of stamina. And I was going to ask about the magic. It's harder to cast spells in heavy armor, correct?
Yeah, I just he has an option for that in the MCM to turn
Ah,
it off.
okay.
So, and there's a perk as well. You can once you get to, I think it's like level 50, I believe, or level 25 in heavy
God,
armor.
50
I think it's
Requiem.
level. Yeah, it could be level 25. Actually, I'm in my game now. I can actually check.
Yeah, I turned off a couple of those things too, like I think we mentioned this the last time that I turned off I forget what he calls it, but where you can get disarmed or bows break and stuff like that. That just gets not just tedious, but just infuriating way too quickly.
Yeah, actually, it's 25. You're able to keep concentrated enough in heavy armor to cast fundamental and advanced spells without severe penalties.
Okay.
So it's level 25, and I'm only level 20 so far. But I turned that off as well. I didn't find it. I didn't want to play without being able to cast in heavy armor. So
Right. I'm just gonna shift over to my Requiem character. I haven't played the Requiem character for a while, but Let's see. Okay. Um, but he's so one of the things I discovered in the last couple of weeks since we talked about Requiem last, I was just like banging my head against the brick wall, and it was getting very bloody, and uh, and I had tried, like, I wanted to join the companions because I added in a a really nice companion quest, sort of, what do you want, enhancement. So it's like the thieves guild enhancement, where you have to be a certain level and you have to have done certain things in order to join the companions. And this quest allows you to train with companions, but it will only allow you to train with the, what do they call the new recruits? I forget, but whatever. You can only train with the lower end companions at first. You can't train with the circle when you just joined, and you have to be basically a peon. Um, so I took the first two quests for that they give you, to go out and take care of things. The first one was beating somebody up, and I went and did that. And I had some brawl bug issues that we talked about. But then I took another one, which was a it was at the where the Lunar Forge is, I think. No. What's that? I can't remember the name of the. There's, as you're traveling across the tundra, going sort of past Halted Stream, and then you pass that old ruin where the Lunar Forge is, and then farther on down the line, there's
Right.
Ranvigs something, Ranvigs something or other, Cairn or somewhere up in there. Anyway, it's full of magic wielders, and I just got wrecked and wrecked and wrecked and wrecked, and I'm thinking, I can't even start the companions quest. This is awful. I couldn't do it. It was just virtually impossible. And have you tried followers yet?
Well, in Requiem,
Yeah.
yes, I've got Lydia because
Okay.
I opened up the dragons. I went through Bleak Falls, and
Ah,
that was that was an experience.
I'll bet. Yeah. That's what level were you when you went through the Bleak Falls? Because he pretty much makes that pretty difficult.
I was just below level 4,
Uh-huh.
and when I came out, I was just below level 7.
Yeah. Good Lord. What game difficulty setting are you on?
Expert, I think.
Expert? Okay. Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I took your advice. So when I came out and sort of like I wandered around a little bit, I went into Embershire Mine first, which was quite weird because I got dwarven armor off the lead guy.
Yeah. Isn't that
You
cool? That part is
yeah,
really neat. Yeah.
ran him into the trap as well.
Hmm.
Uh, Pulled him up and sort of like ran him into the trap, and then went through Bleak Falls. But he done something with because obviously I thought I was gonna have like an absolute nightmare with the dragon. I think he doesn't like the Dragon Quest, the main quest, at all. He's very like those little messages that come up every now and again.
Hmm.
He's very flippant about the shouts. It's something came up when I was learning Unrelenting Force, like the inside Bleak Falls is like, oh, I've learned yet another word or something like phrase similar to that. And when the dragon attacked the watchtower, it was had the name didn't have a name on it, like the villain earth or whatever it was supposed to. It was called a wounded dragon,
Really?
and
That's interesting.
he went down in about 2 minutes.
Huh.
It was the
Interesting.
easiest dragon fight I've ever had.
Yeah, that's eh, I don't know if there's anywhere. There must be somewhere on the web where somebody has written out, whether it's Ogre Boss or who, or someone has sort of outlined exactly how he balanced or rebalanced the game, because it's very clear that he spent, it's, yeah, like you said, it's deep. I mean, he's completely changed it. So I haven't done any Dragon Quest. So that's interesting to know. What I did find was, I'm opening up the game right now. Um, was after I basically just gave up on Ranvik's fast, because I was just not capable of doing it. Um, I headed towards Markarth and discovered that in Requiem, whereas the sorry, I'm turning down my audio here. Whereas the certain parts of the map in Skyrim, including places like Bleak Falls Barrow, are very difficult. He has completely, well, this isn't fair to say. I was going to say he's completely nerfed the Forsworn, but that's not really true. But they are much lower level. They're much easier to defeat in Requiem, which makes a certain amount of sense, right? They are sort of hill barbarians, as it were, and they're not well equipped. And if you go in there at level, I would think I was level 7 or 8 when I headed out there. Uh, it's actually doable.
Hmm.
So I ran through the whole Forsworn conspiracy quest with Madnak and everything, um, and I tried to play it, as sort of as if I'd never played it before, as I possibly could. Normally you go through, you click, 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 run back and forth, grab the shiv, blah
Yeah.
blah blah.
Good for
But
you.
but I tried to play it through, and it was fun.
Yeah, good for you.
I haven't done that in a long, long time, and that's sort of the way I've been trying to approach it now in the Requiem playthrough, is just to try to really go back and think as if I'd never played the game before. Um, and so once I came out of that, there's a couple glitches, and I don't know if they're related to Requiem or the game or a little bit of both. One, I had to reload the final exit when you follow Madnock out a couple times because some weird shit happened. I don't know. It's like everybody got screwed up, and everybody ended up inside the dwarven ruin, which is weird, and then including Torald and everybody else. uh, and then everybody left, and the door closed, and I was locked in the second time. I'm going, help! Hey, wait for me! uh,
Hello.
yeah. So finally, I reloaded it a couple times, and it triggered correctly. um, but once I was done with that, yeah, I moved on out into the Reach, and kind of wreaked havoc. I had a really good time, and I'm going solo. And the reason I asked about followers was, so Lydia has been okay, or did you change the settings in Requiem at all for followers?
No, not at all. Yeah, she gets her ass handed to her pretty regularly.
But she
It's
doesn't die. See, that's what I'm having problems with. Every follower I've tried to get just dies. They just get killed.
well, she does die if I hit her. Because most of my killing is done with my unrelenting force shout, and I still only have the first word
Huh.
because as she's going through enemies, she can probably take two at the same time if they're just normal bandits. She's tough enough to be able to withstand that.
Hmm.
But if she's surrounded by three of them, then she's definitely going to go down, and she'll go down to a knee, and then the same way I would is they ignore her and then come after me once she goes down to a knee. And if I use a like the foos, that will kill her if she goes down to a knee.
Okay. Interesting. I wonder what is it? Maybe it's a setting that I have set or something. But I've lost. Uh, well, I was losing. I forget who I had first. I tried Findall maybe, and he just, I mean, it was like we walked into somewhere, uh, walked in, and he was dead. I mean, killed, dead, not on a knee, just dead. I don't know. It was the first hit, one hit shot, done. And I thought, okay, that's weird.
Mm.
So I went out and tried it again. Same thing, done. So I thought, okay, well, I don't want to. That's silly. So I just went back and forget Fandel. So I got somebody else, and we went to a halted stream and ran in. First shot from the bandit chief, done, dead. Uh, so this sucks, man. So so then I went and got Uthgerd, and she does what you were describing. So maybe it depends on the follower. Uh,
Yeah, well, maybe it depends on well, yeah, on the armor. Can it withstand the entire hit?
that could be. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Anyway, because so further on along down the line, after I came back from doing. Oh, I was going to say I had a really good time at the. Is it the Deepwood Redoubt? Is that the one where you go into a sort of a short little dungeon and then you come out into this valley? Uh, isn't that? It's a great one. I love that place.
I have spent hours trying to take that place.
It it's wonderful though,
Yeah.
and so I went in there solo, and I'm doing mostly archery like often do, and working it right. I think I went through without only I don't maybe died once through that whole thing. I didn't try. I once I got up to the Hag's End or whatever that the upper level of it is where the Hag Ravens are, then because he did not nerf the Hag Ravens. So that's one shot done. And I thought, okay, I'm done. I'm leaving. I
Yeah.
killed my Forsworn. I got my Briar Hearts and whatever. Uh, but then I went and did the Vermina quest, and because I like Erender, or is it Erender? Is that his name? Uh,
Yeah, it's Arender or Arender.
yeah, he's a great
Um,
follower. So I thought, okay, I'll grab Erender and we'll do Vermina, and that was tough in Requiem. Went through that, brought him home, took him to Halted Stream, dead. Like, what the fuck, man? So, and that's where I said, okay, this was fun for a while, and I'm moving on to something else. That's when I went to Perma. So,
oh crap!
uh,
The only thing I can think is, well, was it? Yeah, what's her name? Lydia just goes down to a knee. Not maybe you're getting a conflict, or maybe it's just. I mean, did you give Arender some armor, or was he just in his
no,
clothes?
no, I did a foolish thing. I forget where it was. Let me. Oh yeah. Okay. So doing the Vermina quest, where of course he's totally essential and can't be killed. Went through, but I think it's Requiem that did this. I don't think it's. I don't see that. I was pretty careful not to add too much in terms of combat overhaul stuff. I wanted it to be a fairly consistent Requiem build. Um, all of the orcs in there are wearing orc armor.
Ah, right.
Yeah, so they're kind of tough. So we went in, and I had I forget what my character has for weapons right now. But anyway, all the orcs are wearing orc armor. They were surprisingly not as hard as all the leftover um, priests of Vermina,
Vermina.
who are all shock mages, and
Yeah.
those are like one shots. Boom. So you got to be, you got to hide uh, and I'm trying to do a with this guy. I'm trying to, even though I'm using some archery, I'm trying to build up my one-handed and sword and shield. So I found if I could stagger them quickly with one shot with a bow and then like run up right in their face and bash them and shield bash them, that would stagger them enough that they couldn't, uh, shoot their awful shock spells at me and I could take them down. But they were pretty tough.
What race are you?
What am I? Hang on a second. I forget. His name is Kalis Gorham. I forget what he is. I haven't played him in a few days. Um, but he's where am I here? Um, oh, he's wearing a. What did I make him? I don't remember. I'm standing out in the middle of the tundra with Arender and Uthgerd right now. What follower mod are you using?
I'm not.
Oh, okay.
I'm just
So one
using.
at a time.
Yeah, vanilla Skyrim. So
Oh, cool. So a really sort of a quote pure unquote Requiem build.
pretty much the only thing
Yeah.
I've got is I was the Amidian born caves and mines
Okay.
and his armors.
Okay. Kalis is a red guard. I forgot. That's right. Yeah. Um, so what are the did I don't think I used I didn't use any Oh, I used Imperious. We can talk about that at some point too, which is Imperious is pretty cool. Um, but I didn't use any other changes in race or anything like that. It's all pretty much all Requiem. I don't remember what Requiem adds to Redguard.
I'm not sure was it the because my guy is a Breton. He gets that he absorbs 100% of the magicka for 8 seconds. So if anybody's shooting at him with lots of magic, if it gets into a serious fight, like magic match, he can absorb 100% of that damage for 8 seconds.
Nice. I'd have to go look
Plus,
at the website and see.
yeah, plus the Mage Stone is different. Instead of learning stuff faster, it gave me an extra, I want to say, 100 magicka.
Oh, okay.
So I think the Warrior Stone gives you extra stamina or something like that, or extra health. I'm not too sure. Um, but the Mage Stone, yeah, gave me loads of magicka, and I was going with mainly conjuration, and I'm finding it a lot better this time around than the first time around.
Yeah, it's. Have you read through the player handbook, despite its
No,
horrible interface? Well, it's a PDF, but they thought, wow, background images are really cool, man. Uh, so it's really hard to read. And they did it in a really sort of a scripty font, which is also I'm a big well, I won't get snobbish about fonts, but uh, anyway, so let me look through this and quick and see if I can find attributes here. Um,
Yeah,
oh,
I'm East. My Breton is still 25% resistant to magic. I think that was it.
uh-huh.
Um, something else I was going to say. What's it about the stones? No.
Yeah, it's really deep. I mean, it's my God, it's the PDF for the manual is 141 pages. Uh, it's they've really done a great job with it, I have to say. Um, but for me, it's as usual. It's like Victor doesn't spend a lot of time reading the fucking manual. Um, so
I didn't even look for the manual.
yeah,
Oh, is that a stray dog? Oh my god, I just found myself the stray dog.
cool. So where do you find out in there what your uh, racial uh, characteristics are? Is that right?
His, yeah, his powers. So you go to powers, and then you go to active effects.
Oh, duh, of course. Yeah. All right.
So magic resistance. Your Breton Blood gives all token damage from magical, all damage taken from magical sources. So it doesn't actually give me an exact amount of what it is.
Let's see. So the Warrior Stone. He's taken the Warrior Stone, so that's. Um,
It used to be some poison and disease resistance for the vanilla one for red guards, I think.
hmm. And where is it? It's under active effects. Let's see. Fortify Ice by increase nomadic heritage. Redguard blood grants 50% disease resistance. Yeah, when not in combat. You have unlimited stamina.
Whoa!
When
What?
not in combat.
Even so.
Yeah. uh, that's why I can run so far. I just didn't realize that. uh, and then
Bastard.
yeah. So yeah, Redguard blood tempered in the deserts of Hammerfell grants you a very strong resistance to poisons and diseases. That does seem to work. Um, I'm not sure what the tenacity effect is from. Varied diet. That's another Requiem thing. Is that part of yours? If you eat, more than one or two different things. Instead of just eating all bread or whatever, you get a 10% or 10-point increase in health, which is
No,
kind
I
of
haven't.
cool.
No, I've been eating a few different things, but mainly was it vegetable stew?
Okay, yeah.
Because
Yeah, I
they've
like a lot of those. Yeah, what they last like 7,200 seconds or something like that. There's a lot of nice
yeah.
long-term effects, but you have to I guess similar sort of to The Witcher and other games like that. You have to consume them outside of combat. You have to prepare yourself before you go into combat in order for the effects to take for it to take effect. Um, and I have, let's see, I've also I sort of, because of his militant uh, like um, uh, carrying capacity nerfs.
Mhm.
Uh, I have mods that allow me to craft backpacks and bandoliers and stuff like that, so I can carry more. I tried to try to sort of semi-faithful to it, and so I didn't really add too much to his weight. I think he can carry like 180 pounds or stone or whatever now. Whereas with a regular Skyrim playthrough, you might be like carrying 500 pounds worth or something. Um, but
Yeah, I'm still on the whatever he said. So my carry weight is still 90.
did
I've,
you? There's a setting in there because I think when sort of out of the box, Requiem doesn't add anything when you gain stamina, does it? You can
no, nothing.
you can tell it
I've
to, but
Yeah, no, I've been adding it, but there's a perk in heavy armor, which I think this one is at 50 for
okay,
heavy armor, which increases carry weight. Yeah, fortitude. Your training made you stronger. Are you now less burdened by the rigidity of your armor? You also receive some additional stamina and carry weight.
okay.
I don't like the way he says some additional, which probably means 3.
Not a hell of
Uh,
a lot. Yeah, that's
yeah.
right. Yeah.
Because was it in the conjuration tree? Because I've got up to 28 up there, and I took all my perks nearly went into that. And there was one that was Summoner's Insight, which was you've learned how to empower conjuration spells. Thus, you can now make them last longer in this realm. When I cast a spell, um, was it I think I've got the Ghostly Wolf,
Uh-huh.
and that one would last 14 seconds. I took this perk and it lasted 15 seconds.
Oh,
I was like,
wow.
what? Thanks, dude. I'm going to kick you right in the nuts if ever meet you. So then I
Yeah.
took the one right next to it, which was Extended Binding, and that increased it to 22 seconds.
Okay. Yeah.
So none of this 60-second malarkey for me. It's 14 seconds and 22 seconds of conjurated beings. Um,
I've got my speech up a fair amount. I tried to work on that a lot because it helps, because it's hard to make money in Requiem too. So I took haggling, and the other one, silver tongue. You spent quite some time to improve your rhetoric skill and are now able to greatly influence any conversation and to fascinate the opposite gender. Thus, you also get better offers at respective vendors, which seems to work.
yeah.
Uh,
My speech has been going up, but I haven't been putting anything into it.
Smithing is hard. In fact, it's virtually impossible. I haven't been able to. I don't know if I missed the book somewhere. Yeah, I guess you have to have a book in your inventory in order to even take a point in it.
Yes, I can tell you where the book is.
Well, there was one in Embershard Mine I heard, or I read somewhere, but I don't know if I missed it or have it or misplaced it or somewhere or something.
That
I don't know.
the one in Embershard was for scaled armors. You need the one
Oh,
for basic crafting.
oh, where's that?
Helgen.
Oh no, really? Jeez,
Yeah.
of course. Where else? Yeah, it makes sense.
Um, you know the barrel where you get the potions from?
Okay, yeah.
There's a little set of stairs just after that go up to the shelf above.
Uh-huh.
If you look above on the top shelf up there, that's where the crafting book is. And you need to have that in your inventory to take the very first perk in smithing.
Okay.
because I had the book, I read the book, and I threw it in my barrel because until recently I was living out of a barrel. Riverwood.
Yeah, awesome.
I had Lydia as my house call, and she was like, "All right, let's go." And we run all the way, and I went, "Here you go. This is River. This is my barrel." Uh,
You're a barrel, Carl.
there you go. There's an ancient Nord sword that I got from Bleak Falls Barrow with some frost enchantment here. You carry that, kill stuff with it, and she does, which is awesome. And then we bought Breeze home,
Oh, nice.
which for some reason was only £3,000.
Okay.
Uh,
Whereas if you want to hire a mercenary like Janasa or something, it's 5,000.
yep.
Oh my God.
And like most spells that are worth a damn are 2,500 gold.
Yeah, I know. That's really kind of tough.
Yeah, and plus
uh,
gold weighs. So yeah, Lydia's got all my money. She carries all my money on her while we're out and about. When we get back, I put it in the one of the nightstands by the bed.
uh
But while we're out and about, because it weighs, she carries all my money. So if she
Okay.
just decides, like, well, I'm going to go out on a bender, um, she can just go out and get drunk off her ass on all the gold and leave
I
me penniless.
That's why I got a horse because I was feeling kind of guilty about my bandoliers and backpack and stuff like that. So I figure a horse is a good tank too. Um, but I just went back to my little house. I love this. There's a wonderful little house mod uh, by the well known Eleonora, who's done so many awesome house mods. Um, but this one's called Lillehus, Little House, and it is exactly that. It is a tiny, tiny little house right on the edge of right outside Whiterun, and it's like cramped for one person right now. Uthgerd and Arander and I are in here. We're bumping into each other. But I just came back here to look for that book, and I don't have it. So either I never got it in Helgen, or because I do have the Scaled Armors book, or I put it somewhere and I have no recollection of where it is. So hopefully there's another copy of it somewhere, or I'll have to console it to myself.
Yeah,
Uh,
sometimes they're in the Smiths have them. So if you go to
it probably cost
Alvor's,
5,000 or something like that. Yeah, hopefully not. Um,
I think you can buy it from one of them. I'm not too sure how much it is,
yeah,
but
yeah. Well, so yeah, so I just coming back here. I remembered that I also attempted. Is it? It's I don't think it's. Is it Ustengrav or one of those over there where there's a woman named Anska?
a
Um,
scroll for Ansgar. Yeah, you don't want to go in there.
Yeah, well, I tried. That didn't work so well. But now, poor Anska, because I initiated the quest, I thought, okay, I'm leaving. This is too hard for me, and I left. That's when I headed over towards Dawnstar to do the Vermina quest. But when I left and I looked behind me, and there she was, sort of followed me out of the ruin, and then she turned around and went back in. But now, every time I fast travel, poor thing appears wherever I am, and then starts walking back to to wherever it was. So now she's like walking back from Whiterun. I feel bad, but
Why are you laughing, Victor?
she'll get there eventually. It's just like,
Yeah.
oh, yeah, I'm afraid the next time so I'll have to just fast travel, pick her up, fast travel back there, and she'll appear. uh, Whenever I do want to do that. I realize I'm level 15 now in my Requiem playthrough, but I reached another sort of roadblock. I thought, okay, I've got all this experience. I did all these Forsworn quests and everything. I did the Vermina quest. I'll go back and to Ransvik's fast or whatever and try to you know advance the companions. No, no, still not good. So it's too much
Isn't
magic for me.
I thought they were all ghosts.
Or no, there's necromancers in there. There's a whole mess of I think they're necromancers. Some kind of sorcerer. Let me pop over there and see what's in there. Um, Ranvik's fast. Yeah. Um, But yeah, so anyway, I stopped and I went. I decided, okay, I'm going to do a really, again, the same kind of thing where I'm trying to play it as if I had never played it before, but this time with a really pure uh, hunter uh, and thief build in perma. So I'm sort of getting much more deeply into using Frostfall and Hunterborn, getting far more deep into Hunterborn than I ever have before. Really sort of trying to work up the skills for processing animal kills and stuff like that, and it's a lot of fun. And in that one, I'm using he's a wood elf by the name of Benjamin Finnegan. He's got red hair, so and looks scarily like Kiefer Sutherland. Somehow I managed to make him look like Kiefer Sutherland. I don't know how, um, but that's a lot of fun too. I'm using Imperius, which adds some racial characteristics. Um, and one of the things it does for wood elves is several things. So when you go into sneak mode and stand still for a short amount of time, it starts to make nearby enemies glow, even if you can see them sort of through forest cover and stone and stuff like that. It gives you the once a day you will cannibalize a corpse, because of course you're a wood elf and they do that, and that gives you benefits to uh, fortitude and endurance, which has added some of those sort of classic RPG elements into the game. And it also adds this little sort of questy thing in there. I forget what it's called because I'm not in that game right now, but where you kill, if you kill 10. Well, it adds this harrier bird. At first, I started playing the game, and I keep hearing this bird call, and a little text pops up at the top of the screen that says, "You hear the call of a bird." I'm thinking, "What the fuck is that?" uh, and so finally, I read the manual, and it's the signal that the harrier has marked a piece of prey, and if you hunt the prey and kill it within a certain amount of time, it's usually marked as a green glow rather than a white glow. It counts towards your 10 kills, and once you have killed 10 under that, you get, let's see, it's right here if I can find it. The Bosmer. It's the Harrier. Spirit bird marks animals to kill for bonus loot or weakens your enemies in battle, and the quest reward for that is Beast Tongue. Once a day, call to a nearby predator, making it a permanent ally until released. So that's going to be cool. I'm only up to 4 right now, so I haven't tried that yet. Yeah, it's pretty cool. So that's called Imperius. All kinds of interesting little things that they added to.
Have you gone through the because in the perma playthrough, what was it? Is it the what's that tree that he added? The Wayfinder?
I don't know. Oh, I mean the perk tree. Yeah, it's Wayfarer. Yes, I've worked into that because that really works into both Frostfall and Hunterborn quite a lot. And what he did was he put lockpicking and pickpocket together, so he had space for another tree, and added the Wayfarer tree. It's the same thing. It actually came through from Skyrim.
Yep.
And so yeah, I'm going to load that one up now and see.
Sometimes I think it's a little unfair with Wayfinder, especially with us two who never fast travel. So with Wayfinder, we're traveling anywhere, so we just like leveling it up constantly.
That's true. It does level fast.
Because I get up to like I am level 70 or something like that, and I can't remember what level my perma guy was. I think level 30 or something like that. I think.
Oh well, no, Benjamin's still down in the teens somewhere, I think. But He's having fun. I mean, I discovered a little thing in Hunterborn where you can make cache markers. So if you're hunting out in the tundra or something and you pick up a lot of carcasses and things like that, you can create a cache out of bone, and when you drop it on the ground and squat next to it and activate it, it creates this little hunter's cache, and you can load crap in there, so you don't have to carry it around all over the place. Sadly, it does not add a fast travel marker, so you got to remember where it is. But other than that, it's a nice little nice idea. That's pretty cool. I'm enjoying the the permit. I don't mind the fluffy descriptions. You know, it's fun trying to figure out exactly what the hell he meant. But
Yeah, I put in the defluffer,
yeah.
but I forgot to put in the extended UI, so half of it's like cut off.
Oh, really? Oh, bummer. That's easy enough to add. But one, I was going to say, I added one thing yesterday. The perma build is running Vivid Weather, which I think I talked about in one other uh, show that we did. I can't remember. But oh my, how did that happen? Oops. Sorry. I guess I forgot to say it because I'm back somewhere. Anyway, Vivid Weather is really good if you let it be itself. It's got some beautifully redone. The snowstorms are gorgeous. And he's added some new sky textures for sunsets and things, which are really pretty. But something I did yesterday, which has visually changed the game in an awesome way, especially in Falkreath and the southern part of Skyrim, is I added a mod called Simply Bigger Trees. And let me tell you what, I recommend it to anybody. It shouldn't affect your frame rate much at all, but it makes the trees 1.5 times larger. And walking around in the forests in Falkreath with those trees that big is really spectacular. It really is. The tree trunks are bigger. You really feel like you're in a real primeval forest. It's really cool. So try it out. It's not. I don't think it adds an ESP. It's meshes only, so you don't have to mess with your load orders or anything like that. So it's easy to add and subtract. So definitely worth trying. It's a little unrealistic in the Rift because birch trees don't really grow that tall. I know from experience, but that's okay. I'm willing to accept that. But it looks really good. I haven't been up north yet with it, but I traveled around Falkreath a lot, and it's really, really pretty. So let me look at what I've been concentrating mostly on archery, and I actually did you use the Tendo's uncapper INI file, because he recommends the uncapper as part of the Percus Maximus, and he provides an INI file for it. Did you use it?
I have the uncapper, but I don't think I used his one.
Okay.
Just used the normal. Because where do your trees go up to?
What do you mean?
When you're going for your perks? Because I was having a look at it and I was checking online, and I thought I had it right, but maybe I've got it wrong. Like how high are your perks? Do you have to go beyond 100?
I don't know. I haven't gotten that far in anything yet.
No, I mean, like,
But
can you go to your perk tree and see if any of the perks, like the mastery perks, are they beyond 100? Or because mine are all 95 or 100.
yeah, I think they all, none of them go to 100. I think that's is that correct? I was just looking at the Wayfarer here. Let's see, dexterity, conviction is 95. Yeah, I don't know.
That's
Yeah,
right.
why is that?
I'm not too sure, but I was worried because my two-handed in my perma build, he's up to level 114. So
Wow.
I was wondering, why is my skill going past 100, but obviously his perk requirements are not.
Well, that's what the uncapper does anyway. It just lets you
Yeah.
keep going without having to make it legendary. That's part of the whole point of the uncapper. But it also adds changes. There's, I mean, if you've ever looked in the INI file, you can change everything, the way things level, the rate at which things level. It's very, very detailed. And his INI grants you, I think, two perks, one perk, two perk, or something like that. It's sort of rhythmic. You don't always get just one perk per level, um, which kind of makes sense with the amount of added points on the perk trees that he's put in there. You almost need more than one to,
Yeah,
um,
it's kind of the opposite with Requiem, though, isn't it?
right, exactly. Yep.
Have you seen the dexterity tree? The
Yeah, or block. Block is like what, six points on it or something like that. Yeah, or maybe it's heavy armor I'm thinking of. Um,
oh, was it? Where is it? Lock picking. Lock picking has one, two, three, four perks. That's the entire tree.
yeah,
Four,
yeah, yeah.
which
That's
is a
kind of cool.
pain. Yeah, which is a pain in the ass because I can't. I just done Voltime Tower,
Oh,
and he's locked every single chest in the entire game. Every single door, every single chest is locked. So you have to
yeah.
be able to pick it. But if you don't have lock picking, like locksmithing law, which is the second one, you can't do anything adept or above.
Right.
And that requires level 50. I'm only currently level 18. So all the master chests that you come along to, unless it's in a dungeon where it's like a load of dead guys, then it's left open. But I done Voltime Tower, and that one is locked, and I can't get into it.
That's evil, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I turned that off in the Requiem MCM. I'm ashamed to say I turned it off, so I can do the regular thing. You can sort of try to pick almost any lock, even though you might go through 10 or 15 lock picks. So I cheated, um, but alchemy is cool in perma though. You gain the ability. I mean, I've taken two of the three first alchemist perks and nothing else above that. But it already allows me to learn the first three of any the first three attributes of any ingredient, um, which is kind of
Yeah, I
cool.
remember.
You don't have to take a special perk out of the tree in order to get that. You just have to level it up. Uh, so I'm having fun with that. So it's actually a good build. I'm having a little trouble with the actual game itself. I was having some issues with uh, um, script hitching and crap like that. Um, and I discovered a really cool little utility for anybody who has experienced the dreaded purple textures. Have you ever had those in your games?
Yes, sir.
And trying to figure out where the hell what overwrote what and blah blah blah. Um, well, there's a really cool little mod called I think it's MFG console. I don't know what MFG stands for. It doesn't matter. But you load that into your game. It doesn't require any special load order or anything. It does a couple other things too. It adds blinking back into the game, but you can turn that off because that's stupid. But it is, it's really dumb. But so your character blinks. I mean, come on, there's immersion and then there's just like dumb immersion. Um,
Yeah.
so, but so you walk up to this purple texture and you go into the console and you click on the texture to get the object ID, and in the console, the MFG console mod pops up this little information window off to the right, which tells you exactly the last mod to try to use that texture or the whatever, and so it tells you exactly where to go to find what happened. And so you can either reload the mod or reload the order or something, or find as in my case, it was a mod that I had missed when I downloaded the mod, which is a mountain, sort of a photoreal mountain background mod, which is kind of nice. I missed a file that he had added lower down. It was so you had to scroll down the screen, which was, oops, I forgot a texture. And so I went back to the mod page and I was scrolling around and looking around and finally I found, oh, okay, cool. But I knew exactly where to go because this little MFG console had told me which mod it was that was the culprit, which is really cool. I thought it was really nice. So it's worth having in your sort of modding arsenal. You don't even have to load it into the game all the time. You can just load it up, figure out what you need to figure out, and then dump it. You know, so
yeah. The last time I got that, I instead of trying to find it, I found a different mod that mods this, like it was armors and stuff like that. So I found a different mod that changes armors and then overwrote and added that and overwrote whatever the hell was causing the the texture thing. So
yeah, that works.
a brand new one over the top of that. So the
Yep.
problem was still in there. I just kind of sort of like, whitewashed over the top of it.
I think the most common one that people experience is the Skyforge steel. I think it's Skyforge.
Yeah, the
You'll
Iridium board.
Yeah, it's the Iridium-born content add-on mod yeah, and that's the most common one. And yeah, you either take that out or reload it or whatever, or find something else that loads a different one and it works fine. This happened to be a a rock texture that was only in the reach, so it was kind of weird, and um, so it was hard to figure out what it was. So it was nice to find this little utility, but that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I just having a look at my perma guy now. He's actually, I was way off. He's like level 44 now.
Wow.
Don't you find that it goes kind of odd? Because when I first started off, I was really struggling for perks. Then I ended up with like a shit ton of perks and nothing to invest it in. And then I went through a dry spell where I had to wait until I leveled up, got a perk, spent it, and then I was still begging for other perks to spend at something else. And now again at level 44, I've got 3 perks and nothing to spend it on.
Huh. So yeah, that is a little. There's nothing wrong with that. You don't have to. There's nothing requiring you to spend perks. So I guess.
It's just was it in the perma conjuration tree? You've got this one where it says deportee.
Oh, yeah,
Activate a summoned dangerer to get reclaim option. Choosing this option will banish the entity and restore some of your magicka.
Okay, just before you go. Oh, are you still reading it? Keep reading that because I'm going to read the fluffed version after you're finished. I just want you to go ahead.
The amount of magicka depends on the type of creature you sent back. Flame Atronach 30, Frost Atronach 50, Storm Atronach 70, and Dremora 90.
Okay, here's the fluffed version. It's time on Nirn finished for now. You carefully untangled the web of magic that called your Daedra servant to your side, recovering useful magical energy. That's it.
Thanks, dude.
Yeah, thanks a lot, man. Oh, God. Yeah.
But that just seemed like an entire waste of a perk to me. But beyond that one, so beyond deportee, which I don't get because I'm not going to reclaim my my summoned creature. Because if I do reclaim it, that means the fight's over. If the fight's over, then I'm out of combat. If I'm out of combat, then my magical regeneration shoots up like unbelievably. So I won't need to reclaim magicka because it's going to be, replenished within a few seconds anyway. But the one after that, again, just seems particularly ridiculous. Daedric Shell. After choosing Reclaim, you grants a buff depending on the creature you sent back. So if I summoned a Flame Atronach for a fight, if I reclaim it, it gives me 30% fire resistance for 20 seconds.
And that's a single level perk too, so it's always going to be that, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, some of the stuff just to me just doesn't make sense. I mean, these studies Alteration is really good. Studies Adept Conjuration, which will give me a spell, and you know it give me some extra bonuses. But then after that, level 50, I can go to Ancient Rites, and then I can summon an extra summon.
Have you taken any of the, what does he call them? I don't know. It's studies in magical tree. It's prodigy in the thief tree, and it's something in the other, in the warrior tree. Have you taken any of those? Uh, those those perks.
The only mastery perk I have
Mastery perk.
taken
Thank you. Yeah,
is in the smithing, so I
smithing.
can make war forged.
Oh, that's right. You were talking about that last time. Yeah, yeah. And
Mm,
where is the mastery? Oh, that's way up there. In smithing, it's way up at the top, isn't it?
yeah, but it only required level 45.
Oh, okay. That's funny. I guess I never looked far enough to see. I did notice that on something else I was looking at. There was one of the top perks was only level 65. So I guess you really, really have to study these trees. Maybe that's, I mean, that's part of the thing. I mean, there's so many different perks. It's sort of an embarrassment of riches. So if you don't like one, there's always another one to take, I guess. That's the, so yeah, I see the warrior masteries are all at the top of the tree. And like in the thief realm, the prodigy perks are way down at the bottom, which is kind of cool.
The way I'm figuring it is that he's put the mastery perk in smithing is down to at level 45, it's so that you can actually use it. There's no
Mhm.
point in having it at like the number 100 before I can get Warforged,
Right.
because by the time I'll get to 100, I won't bloody need it.
Yeah, no, you're right. I'm sure that's exactly why he did it. It's certainly well thought out. There's no doubt about that. I just um, but yeah, I don't know. I guess I what happens to me with, especially in perma, and this is like the second time I've done a moderate playthrough with it, is I just get confused by all that detail. So I just pick perks that are simple. you know oh yes, black and white. Do this, it does that, done. So end up with leftovers too. um, but I'm sort of interested in it's sort of, I guess it's a good thing that you can only take one of those mastery perks per school or whatever you want to call it. But it'd be fun to try them all.
Yeah,
uh,
but
so,
you see, and that's where he got interesting. Is have you seen the alteration tree?
oh no, I'm doing the Benjamin is doing illusion for his magic, pretty much. That's all. And I don't think he's going to do. Oh, and a little bit of restoration because he likes to heal himself that way. But
Right.
no, I have not looked at alteration at all. Let me
Well,
see.
go
I'm just
to
going to swing over there. Yeah.
go
All
to
right.
alteration and go to the very top. The requires 100. Let's see what it says. See what your fluffed version tells you.
Oh well, you want to read the unfluffed version first?
Okay. Something draws you, pulls at you. You feel as if this loose thread might help you unravel even greater magical secrets. AKA does nothing, but the next rank does +1 focus perk.
Okay. See, that's exactly what the fluffed version says. So that's interesting. So the next rank is you get. So,
Yeah.
is that what they're called? Focus? Okay, so then you can take a focus perk anywhere in any of the trees?
Yeah, no, it looks like because you got a focus one, you got the studies master alteration, but in the alteration tree you have the focus, which is the creator one, which grants the spell prism, so you can you can create a universal device that manipulates and amplifies any spell cast in it. So what you do is you throw something on the floor, this prism thing, and then you throw a spell at it, and then that increases the spell's power, and then sort of fucks it out at everything in the area.
Wow.
But if you take these other, this Architect of Magic perk, you can also take the other focus spell, so you can get 2 focus spells.
Oh, I see.
And
Okay.
and it's all these kinetic shift ones and things like that. So
Yeah, I see
He's
him.
like, oh, you can only take one of these unless you go this way and take that and spend this here. Then you can actually take two and cheat because
It's pretty complex, isn't it? There's a lot of stuff in that tree. Yeah, I guess especially for the magic, I guess the deflect version is probably the way to go.
the only one what really annoys me is I cannot for the life of me find magic resistance. There is no magic resistance epoxy thing where it's like 3 ranks, sort of 10% magic resistance, 20% magic resistance, and 30%. There's none of that anywhere. I can't bloody find that perk.
You'd have to use alchemy then.
Yeah, um, but was it? I was thinking about alchemy because it does look very interesting, but
Yeah, so far, I mean, I'm doing a lot of alchemy. I think he's level 50 alchemist right now, but I've only taken the first 2 levels of the base alchemist perk. I haven't gone up the tree at all. So, because I'm sort of trying to figure out which of the thief section, prodigy perks I'm going to take, and I haven't been able to decide yet. So. Whether I'm going to do sneak or alchemy. The sneak one is called infiltrator. Let those guild rats hide in the sewers. You've got a few sneaky tricks of your own, and the shadows already call you a friend. I don't really know what I guess they just let you level faster in whichever tree you choose to take the prodigy perk in. I guess that's what it is. And since I'm already level 50 in alchemy, it doesn't seem worth taking the prodigy perk there. So. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, instantly grants greed and unarmed. That's what it is in dexterity. So if you take the prodigy perk, that means that the other 2 perks, greed and unarmed, it grants them immediately.
Oh, okay, I get it now. All right, so you'd have to be careful. In other words, if you're going along playing the game through and you take a bunch of perks in a given tree and then go back and take the prodigy perk there, you might have just wasted a perk.
Yeah.
So you got to take that early. Okay, all right. I guess that makes more sense then.
Because the unarmed requires 55 and greed requires 50. But if you take the prodigy one, that means you can do them early.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that makes sense.
I just like to say in smithing, I've gotten up to ebony, and quite nice.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to do much. I just took the first. Smithing's another one. It's in perma. It's a little harder to. I partially because I used the sort of the big race, not just Imperious, but I also used Disparity, which is a big sort of RPG focused race overhaul, and it allows you in a sort of a similar way to the special book or whatever in Fallout, where you have a set number of points that you can assign to things, and everything else kind of falls off the edge of the map. So you get a lot of with Disparity, you start out at 5 in a lot of trees, but you can also start out at 10, 15, or 20 in some. So it's kind of rebalances this thing that way. And there's patches for all of these, by the way. They're all integrated into perma, and they're all patched to work together. But you have to build the load order with a bashed patch, and with the patches maximus at the end to get it to all work together right. And by the way, I'm also using something called As Is. Have you seen that? It's added spells, increased spawns, I think is what it stands for, ASIS. It's a Skyproc patcher. Adds all kinds of interesting things. Like, I forget where I was. Oh yeah, Honeystrand Cave, right outside of Iverstad there. So there's a little quest.
Bears.
Yeah, there's a little quest that's added by interesting NPCs. You meet an Argonian in Falkreath. Have you done that one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I've tried.
Okay, so yeah, so you put, and I don't know if this is as is or not, but so you get to Iverstedt and you have to find the courier who's carrying the letter that this guy wrote, and she's in Honeystrand Cave. So I go waltzing into Honeystrand Cave, and there were like, and this is I also have immersive creatures loaded. I think that's part of it. So there were like 8 feral bears and about 15 bear cubs in there. It's like unbelievable. I thought, holy. So I had to dash in and out several times. I used a lot of fury in there because the bears are pretty low level. So even though they're powerful, so they're susceptible to fury. So they were eating each other up left and right. But yeah, I think that was as is that added all those bears in there.
That's an absolute nightmare. I hate bears.
Yeah, me too. They're tough. But
Not in,
and the
not
same
so
thing.
tough in Requiem though.
Oh, they're not. They,
No, I was running away from them. But Lydia had no problems at all taking care of a saber cat or a bear.
oh, I'll have to
Went
remember
went
that.
down in about 4 or 5 hits, and they're full of stamina. You get all their claws and their heart and their I can't remember. There's something else as well. They pull off the bears and say, "Oh, the saber cat eyes and the teeth."
Yep.
It's all stamina because you can pull all that off, and it's all alchemical ingredients.
Is that's added by Requiem? Because that's also added
Yeah,
by mods like Hunterborn, claws, eyes, hearts, sometimes kidneys and stuff like that. And yeah, they all have really nice alchemical attributes. Uh, there's again, I don't know if it's which mod added it. Maybe Perma. There's a potion. It's not alchemy redone because I've never seen it before, and that's the only alchemy mod I'm using. It's called Arcane Detachment, um, which is a really good potion against any kind of sorcerer because it basically just shuts
yeah,
off their ability to use magicka for several seconds, and
yeah,
then takes away magic points. So you've seen that before? Is that a perma thing?
yeah. It's perma.
Yeah. Okay. So I've
Um,
been making, and it's also a very expensive potion, so you can level up your alchemy quickly with it. But yeah, I think bear claws are one of the ingredients for that potion. Um, that's what made me think of it. So, well, cool. So back and forth. Are you going to go back to perma at all, or are you pretty much done with that guy?
well, no, I think, and I just opened it back up there to have a look at it, and I realized that I am in the middle of the Helgen Reborn quest.
Oh, cool. That's a great quest. I love that. I
Have
left
you?
that one out.
Yeah. Have you ever been to? While you've done Helgen Reborn, have you ever been to see Froki?
Yeah, I do Froki regularly. I love the kinds whatever it's called. In fact, I just initiated that with this guy. What's it called? Kinds. J for journal. Kinds Sacred Trials, right?
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, and he's Helgen Reborn adds a little bit to that, doesn't it?
That's what I was thinking because his voice has changed.
Oh, I never noticed that. I didn't make that connection. Okay.
Yeah, his voice had changed. So I was going, what the hell is going on? And then as I was coming back, because I'm about to do the last one, I'm about to go and do the troll. I've
Uh,
currently got Lydia with me, uh, Aranea, and I've got Herd from Helgen Reborn.
oh, okay.
No,
Yeah.
no, sons of yeah, the little Nord,
Yeah.
about 4 foot nothing, and he's got an ebony longbow on him, and it's almost bigger than he is.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
got it strapped to his back, and I think it comes a foot above his head, and it's only like 3 inches off the floor.
It
So I'm pretty
drags
sure
on
it's
the
big.
ground. That's great.
um, but was it you've got that? Was it fan service girl as well with
Mhm.
Helgen Reborn? What was her name? Um,
It starts with an O, maybe,
I can't remember what
or
her
a
name
C.
was.
It's a yeah.
She's a little young Breton girl or something like
Yeah, she's
that.
very pretty. And
Yeah,
she's marriable. Yeah.
yeah. And she was like, "Oh, I was really impressed with what you did when you went in to get coursed from the." I was like, "Yeah, whatever, little girl. Come on, Lydia, Gary." And we just like ran off. And I was like, "Look, that's what a woman is supposed to be. You go back to
Yeah.
school, you little
Was she
miss."
staring after you wistfully?
I don't know, but I wasn't interested whatsoever. She had this really high pitched. Oh, I was really good. Yeah, whatever. Come
Yeah.
on, women.
My favorite of that type, and she's definitely not a wilting flower, is Tikrid out of um, the I keep wanting to call it inconsequential NPCs. Yeah, anyway,
Interesting NPCs.
interesting NPCs. Yeah, she's pretty awesome. She's the one who has her sister is the mine foreman in Dawnstar.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was on one of my really early first modded games, and I picked her up, and I think it only lasted another couple of weeks, and then I sort of I think I moved on. I think we started a new round table, and I never got back to the playthrough.
Yeah,
So
yeah, Tikrid's pretty cool. She's a good follower. Um, but yeah, well,
I think we can call that an episode.
I think so. Yeah, it was good. Good talk. We should revisit. I'm going to keep playing both of these and see how they parallel each other. I got to figure out how to get this companion quest moving without getting killed constantly. So I'll figure something else out.
Maybe what we could do is trade. Is I'll give you all of my Britain's magic resistance if you give me all your red guard's stamina.
Done. It's a deal. I'll email it to you.
Thank you very much. I just put it on a email it or on a USB or something like that.
Yeah, here's all my stamina. Yep. Sounds good. All right, hang on a second. I'm gonna get back to the hangout here. So, well, I guess that is. It's good. Thanks to everybody for listening.
Thank you very much. And if you have any mods that you really love and you want us to talk about or want us to stick in one of our playthroughs, let us know. We'll
or stick somewhere else.
Yeah. Just shut up for once.
Yeah, shut up about the frickin' mods. Yeah. All right. Good night, everybody.
Later, guys.